What is the current meta in Zenless Zone Zero? How has this shifted over the few patches? In this video today, we're going to answer these questions and break down the best teams for each role in Zenless Zone Zero as of 1.6. Obviously this will change in the future, but for now, sit back, relax, and let's do this. For the sake of this video, the primary endgame modes we'll be discussing are Shiyu Defense and Deadly Assault, although this can also pertain to the last few levels of Battle Tower. Anyway, the meta has shifted a few times since the full launch of Zenless Zone Zero back in July of last year. During this first initial launch patch, we saw back-to-back extremely powerful attack units in Miss Ellen Jo and Officer 148 Zhu Yuan. Our classic attack, stun, and support teams reigned supreme for a long time. The cool thing about Zenless is that any character can complete any of the endgame content with the right team synergy, and these attack teams have withstood the test of time. Part of this was because of our strong stunners like Qingyi, who released shortly after. More recently, we've seen a lot of amazing anomaly units get released. Everybody's favorite rat waifu, Jane Doe, really brought Anomaly to the forefront. When she released, her assault damage numbers were the highest you could achieve in the game, without some serious eidolons. This was made even more powerful with the co-release of Seth, and of course, the next Anomaly character. Bernice set a really strong standard by being an off-field anomaly unit that can work in lots of different disorder team compositions. And then we went even stronger and got Tsukishiro Yanagi. Honestly, Yanagi was already super broken on her release and is still very powerful. As if she wasn't strong enough, we got one more anomaly agent recently that is probably still the best character in the entire game. Well, other than BELLE, of course, because we have to protect her at all costs. Anyway, we're of course talking about Hashimi Miyabi. Literally just the team of Miyabi and Yanagi is strong enough to clear any endgame content by themselves, and it will probably stay that way for the foreseeable future. Basically, just these two alone are going to keep Anomaly part of the meta for a long time. The other character you can make a case for being the best in the entire game currently is Astriel. Not only does she slot into virtually any team composition you want to run, she provides the biggest and strongest buffs of any support character in the game. Just having Astriel on your team will greatly increase the possibility of clearing any endgame content with pretty much any unit. With our latest two characters, we saw a strong comeback from attack units, especially with Evelyn. When we discuss the different teams in the next section, I would currently say that Evelyn is on the second best team in Zenless Zone Zero. However, our current banner character and latest release, Soldier Zero Anby, still hasn't reached her max potential. As much as I love Burgers, and as much as I love Anby's character design, she doesn't have the same damage output that Evelyn does currently. But when the second half of the patch starts here in a couple of weeks, that is all very likely to change. When Trigger releases, Soldier Zero Anby will have unlocked her fullest potential. Luckily, we got a little bit of a taste of Trigger and how universal she will be just from playing her in the trial story. Trust me when I say there is a lot of different team compositions that I've been testing in her early access video, so make sure you subscribe to know when that goes live. However, the reason that both of these characters, as well as Pulchra, synergize so well is the new mechanic called Aftershock. If you need any specific reminders on what Aftershock is, feel free to watch those other Anby and Pulchra videos on the channel. For now though, we can already glimpse into what the future of Zenless Zone Zero is going to look like as well, especially with 1.7. Of course, based on the drip marketing, we know this is going to be an Ether Anomaly agent as Vivian, and an Ice Attack agent as Hugo Vlad. While we don't know any current specifics of the two characters, we have a little bit of a clue as to what one of them can do. Specifically, let's take a look at the new disc drive set, Phaethon's Melody, which actually has a really cool tie-in with the lore in the current story chapter. Anyway, we can see the 2-piece Anomaly Mastery %, but what we want to focus on is the 4-piece. Basically, this breaks down to an Anomaly proficiency boost for the equipper when using an EX special, or if another character uses EX special that doesn't have this equipped, Vivian's ether damage will be increased by 25%. This initial look at Phaethon's Melody suggests that she might be another off-field anomaly unit like Bernice. After all, she's going to be getting this 25% ether damage boost when she's not on the field. But we'll have to wait and see, and I'm personally really excited for Vivian to release. Anyway, Anyway, let's now dive into what the best teams in Zenless Zone Zero look like. Obviously, this will depend on what the content and the buffs are. For instance, Shiyu Defense could have an anomaly focused buff or a flat out damage boost buff for different attributes. However, the current best team in Zenless Zone Zero is Miyabi, Yanagi, and Astra Yao. Even in the recent Shiyu Defense that was Electric Week, I just went ahead and used this team off typing because I didn't really build any of my electric units. Since Astra Yao never has to be on the field except to use ultimate and re-enter the idle Kazenza state, Miyabi and Yanagi can keep trading massive amounts of damage and disorder between each other, and can still easily clear any off-type content almost just as quick as the actual weakness. Past this, my favorite team to use is actually the fire team we mentioned previously. Evelyn is our fiery waifu DPS, Lighter as our stun unit with massive fire buffs and debuffs on the enemy, and then of course Astra Yao. I really like Evelyn's character design for more than just one reason, and this is coupled with that satisfying feeling of always breaking the enemy down. In fact, if you don't even have Astra Yao, you can still use Luciana de Montefiore in the team instead. There's also an argument to be made that support is the best class in the game just from how universal they are. All of them are very powerful in their own way and in the right teams. For an ice team with Ellen or potentially Hugo Vlad, you of course have Sokaku ready. Ether attack with Zhuyuan, you have Nicole. You get the picture, but you can even slot them in any team off typing as well. Especially with Nicole and Lucy just having flat out good buffs for the team. Basically, as long as your attack DPS and support match the correct weakness, you shouldn't have any problem for the foreseeable future in clearing any of the endgame content. Overall, the concept of anomaly and the teams you build with the agents are a little bit different. Of course, optimally, you still want to match the element weakness to your main anomaly agent, but these teams can also be less centralized around one element. In fact, the number one team I used until Miyabi got released was Jane Doe and Sith, plus whatever flex I felt like using. Like we alluded to earlier in the video, when Bernice released, what you could do with anomaly teams was greatly increased. It mainly boiled down to using a disorder team or a full shock team. Of course, burn and assault were still options, but shock was really the most prevalent. And of course, we didn't really have an option for corruption yet, since there's only a couple ether characters in the game. Until Vivian releases, of course. When building anomaly teams, or any team for that matter, just remember to match whatever playstyle you want to use. Any character in the game can really clear the endgame content with the right synergies. But that's enough yapping out of me, and I really want to hear from you guys. A little bit shorter of a video today while we get ready for the early access coming soon, but I really look forward to discussing anything about Zenless Zone Zero with you all in the comments. Let me know what you think about the metas of Zenless Zone Zero, and what's your most enjoyable team or units to use. If you enjoyed this more discussion style video, make sure you hit the like button, as well as that subscribe button to know when the future videos go live. In the meantime, as usual, thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.